What's going on, guys? My name is Joey Speaks, and this is Everyday People, the podcast. Today on the podcast, we have Maddie Ward. What's going on, Maddie?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So Maddie is my sister-in-law. Her and my wife have been best friends for what?
30 years
30
almost?
years? Yeah.
Or about that?
Yeah. It's been a long time.
I think 30 years is how long I've known you, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So a little bit longer than 30 years?
Yeah. So she's like my sister. Like Maddie's family, like 100% family. And so let's just talk about how we met at first, and then just kind of get to know each other and stuff like that. So okay. What do you remember about that?
I was young. We met because I was at Temple City Nez Church, and knew Liz through there, but also she was an upperclassman to my brother, and like would give him rides home and whatnot, and just developed our relationship. She was like a big sister, and then just kept developing into best friend.
Did you live in Temple City also?
I lived in El Monte, I think, at the time. I lived in El Monte at the time.
Okay.
I lived in and out of Temple City for a while. I can't remember exactly where I lived, but yeah. So I mean, I can't remember a time when I didn't know Liz.
Right. Yeah. You were about 9 or 10.
Probably. And when I first started going to the church, on and off. Probably about that. Maybe a little older.
Okay.
Because I was back and forth with my mom's house. I think 6th grade is when I started going regularly. So about 12.
Okay.
Or whatnot. But I think I visited on and off. My grandfather was part of Rosemead Nazarene.
Okay.
And so I had gone on and off there. Not real consistent. So it just depended on where I was at the time. Mm-hmm. But it's like there are bits and pieces I remember from visiting from whatever, and Letty was always like the welcome committee, so she made it a point to
Letty should be a Walmart greeter
to say hi to everybody, to get everybody whatever. So I mean, it's possible that even younger than I remember that that I knew everybody or was familiar with everybody.
So we used to go to a church called Temple City Church in Nazarene over here in Temple City, obviously, and that's where she's talking about. And I remember you from maybe like 12, 14, something like that.
Maybe like 13 or something.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
When you first started dating, I guess. Right? When was that?
1992.
Yeah, I was 12.
Yeah,
so when I first started coming, so probably about 13.
Yeah, a long time ago. So, it's funny. When I think of you when you're young, I remember when we had moved into the house in Temple City, and then you moved in with us.
Yeah.
And we went for a run.
Went for a run?
Yeah.
I don't remember going for a run.
Oh, I remember. We went for a run, and you could run.
Could be. I probably was just finishing high school, I think. I just finished high school. Okay. So probably just out of that, still into some sports stuff.
I wanted to go jogging. I'm just doing whatever, and you came with me, and I was like, you can run.
I think my most memorable experience from that house was me losing my brakes in the middle of the street and you coming to get me.
Your brakes literally fell out of the bottom of your car, right?
Yes. I called you, and I was like, Joey, I need help. And you said, what do you need? I said, my brakes fell out. You're like, what? I said, my brakes fell out. And you didn't believe me. And then you got to the car, and you're like, oh shit, your brakes fell out.
Yeah, they literally fell out. It was kind of crazy. Yeah. But yeah.
I think we just left that car there too. Just left it. I don't think I ever saw that car after.
That's what it needed, just to be abandoned. It was a piece of crap. But yeah, so when we went running, I just remember thinking to myself, like you could really keep up, like you were good, and then you were telling me that you used to swim, right?
Yes.
What sports did you play in high school?
I swam varsity 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year. I played basketball my sophomore year, and I ran cross country.
I've never seen you play basketball.
I played basketball for 1 year.
Nice.
Yep.
What year?
JV team.
Okay.
My sophomore year.
And you went to Temple City, right?
I went to Temple City for my freshman and sophomore year. Beginning of my junior year, I lived out of district, so
Okay.
I switched over to Monrovia High School.
Okay.
But I had been with all my friends and stuff from 6th grade on, kind of. And so when I switched over, I quit all my sports and everything, and I never really got back into it.
Got it. Did you lift weights when you were in high school, or were you just playing?
For swim team, yeah. We had weights in the mornings, like 5 a.m. 3 days.
But isn't swimming early?
3 days
anyway?
a week, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we would do an hour in the pool, and then we would do after 7th period PE or whatever swim.
Okay.
Yeah, but we had weights 3 days a week.
So did
Nothing
you guys?
like here, but
Yeah. But did you guys also swim like at 3 or 4 in the morning or something like that? From what I've heard from other
yeah,
people.
if we did weights, and then we would swim sometimes afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it as a swimmer.
I don't remember the exact routine, but yeah, we had weights and swim in the morning
Yeah.
and swim in the afternoon.
I don't know. Did you like lifting weights back then, or did you just like swimming and lifted weights because you had to?
I liked it. I mean, I liked the physical aspect of it. I didn't know too much, and it wasn't like really involved. Like, yes, we lifted weights, but it wasn't just the conditioning part of it. We did a lot of legs and stuff. We didn't do extensive weightlifting.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
or I didn't anyway. But could be, I don't remember. I don't know.
What did you swim? What was your events?
I swam the medley. So
I have
the,
no idea.
the
What is
combo of back, breast, butterfly, and freestyle.
So was it one of them up and back, or one up, the other back?
It was 4 laps total. I swam the 100, so it was 4 laps total and 1 lap of each.
Okay.
A couple times I swam the long distance one, the 500 freestyle, and I did butterfly. Just
Yeah.
the short butterfly.
Which one did you like best?
I like them all. I don't like backstroke. I always felt like I got lost. You have to follow the flags and stuff, and it's not that complicated. It's just
Oh, there's flags
me.
above?
Yeah, there's flags above.
Designed over the lanes?
When you take off and when you get to your wall, so you don't hit the wall, right?
Got it. Okay.
I didn't love that one, but it was the more difficult one for me. But I liked them all.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like swimming. I don't like swimming for that reason. I just like to be in the pool or in the ocean or whatever. But like,
So funny, because I swam club swim, probably from 8th grade on, or maybe 7th grade on. I swam club swim for Monrovia Aquatics.
okay.
And then I swam for the high school. And I liked it. It was fun. It was like I got in and I got in my mental set and I just did did my practice or did my warm up or did whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So swimming for fun isn't fun. Like I get in the pool to swim with the kids. Like it's not
Got
fun,
it.
like to play in the pool.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like swimming laps.
Oh, okay. But yeah, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm the exact opposite. When I was young, I used to swim so much. One summer, my hair turned green from the chlorine when I used to have hair. But like, we would literally wake up in the morning, swim all day, and just go eat like a savage and come back and swim some more. But yeah, swimming is, but it's a great workout though.
Yeah.
I've actually been swimming on and off at LA Fitness. I never looked at it as a workout, but when I started to do it as a workout, like damn,
It's a great workout.
it really is.
Yeah,
Much more
especially
than I expected.
It's easy on the joints and gets your heart rate up.
Yeah,
You don't recognize that you're sweating and stuff because you're in the pool.
right.
But
100%.
it's a good workout.
Yeah. So let's talk about you at the gym in the girls' class and boxing and lifting weights and all that kind of stuff. So Madi is a good boxer. She throws a mean left hook, and she throws punches with bad intentions. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos that I posted of her, and I don't remember you being bad at the beginning. Obviously, you've gotten better, but like, how did you feel about boxing when we first started doing it?
Oh, I love boxing. I've learned a ton. I don't think I'm necessarily good, but
we're not boxers here at the gym, but
Yeah.
we do boxing fitness. But the things that I teach you guys are real things, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up watching boxing on TV. My dad was big into boxing. My dad's dad boxed Golden Gloves at Madison Square Garden, so he would always talk about it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's big time.
So, like he was into it, but not like doing it. But he,
Yeah.
would host the fights or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So I've watched it a lot. I like boxing. I think it's a fun sport, but for me, it's kind of therapeutic. I like getting my aggression out.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But I enjoy boxing, yeah. And it's a great workout. Like, I notice, like, if I say I took a week off or was busy or we haven't boxed in a while, and then we box one day, like, I'm exhausted.
It hits you quick.
It does. Because you start, and I think we do, 1 minute drills or something. But at the 45-second, I'm thinking, like, are we calling it? You get winded fast. It doesn't look like a hard workout, but it is a overall workout.
I think the most deceptive part about boxing fitness is that you're having so much fun and throwing punches, especially once you get good at it, where you can feel that, like, oh, like, this is real stuff, and like, you're rolling, you're slipping, you're throwing double punches, whatever. But it's so fun, and then after a while, you're like, damn, like, I can't breathe.
Yeah, your arms are tired.
Yeah, your arms
like just picking my arms up to get water.
Yeah. It's I love boxing. I've done it since I was young, and it's a great workout. It's the way that I was able to get myself back in shape from my knee being really bad. I had one of these red punching bags right here, one of those red punching bags right there. Literally would put it in the middle of my living room and just stand there and punch it, and wouldn't move my legs because my knee was so messed up. I'll just throw it, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to work this in. So anyway, boxing's fun. And so, but you've also gotten pretty strong lifting weights. The funniest transition to me in my gym is that I teach all the women. Well, I pretty much teach everybody boxing, unless you have a wrist injury or something like that you can't do it. But I especially teach the women, like, self-defense stuff. The second that women get good at boxing, it's almost like they say, hey, when are we going to deadlift? From boxing to deadlifting, it's like, once you kind of know how to throw your hands a little bit, now I want to be strong. It's the weirdest thing. Did you feel like that about deadlifting?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I got more into weights the more I knew about it. I think just learning. I think just lifting weights in the gym is intimidating because there's all kinds, and the machines do all kinds of different things, and you try something that's maybe a little too heavy, or you get a little strained, you shy away from it. I think the thing I've loved about coming to the gym is that you take the time and show, like, everybody, okay, this is how you do it. And then if we're doing it incorrectly, or if there's even a slight chance we can hurt ourselves doing it a certain way, like, you help us improve our technique. I think as my technique has improved, I've gotten more confident, which makes me want to challenge myself more. I don't know necessarily about deadlifting or whatnot, but just, getting more confident in my technique and understanding it better, and then taking it to the next level with challenging myself more. I think a lot of times too, women are under the misconception that lifting weights gets you big and bulky.
Right.
But it's not. Like, you get more lean. It just helps you achieve your goal faster because you have more. Your metabolism increases from your muscle mass.
Yep.
And so once you get past that, like, oh, okay, you know.
Unfortunately, I think that just over time, especially back in the olden days, you can't lift weights, so you'll get big and bulky, or as a woman you get big and blocky, and it's so far from the truth that, I mean, like, as people lose weight, they don't realize if you just diet, you're going to get skinny fat.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it is, which is not the worst thing in the world compared to being overweight, but it's a really big deception to make you think that you're in better shape than you are. So the funny thing is that, once you're skinny fat and you don't have any muscle mass at all, like, your body literally shows it. But when you start to develop muscle, where you're losing that weight, your skin starts to wrap around the muscles.
Yeah.
And there's so much more technical stuff about this, but just the simplified version of it is like, here's your skin, here's your muscle, here's all the crap in between. You get rid of that crap in between, and they meet, and then the skin starts to take the shape of the muscle. And so, like, just because you're lifting weights does not mean you're going to be like a big buff bodybuilder, but you're going to just be creating nice, long, lean muscle. And when I think that as a, I hate to talk as a country, I think that as women realize, like, I can lift weights and not get like that, it really has changed the way that people work out.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times the emphasis or what people are thinking of is just the overall appearance, the look. Which is great. I mean, that if that motivates you to, great. But I think when somebody starts adding in the weight training and on top of diet, of course, and all that, they're thinking more of health and lifestyle versus like a look, like a particular. I just want to look this way.
Yeah.
You don't get that from magazines, from this and that. Because you're just shown a look, like an image. I want to be this image, and people get unhealthy eating habits and disorders and stuff because they're chasing an image versus chasing like a lifestyle or a health goal versus a.
That's exactly right. That was well said. Yeah, it's true, and for Instagram and YouTube and all the other social media things, I really think that there are a lot of people who are really good, and they teach a lot of good stuff, but I think there's way more people who make things unrealistic.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that quick fix, just take this, do this, eat that, don't eat this. The beauty about just focusing on health is like most of the time you can work in whatever. If you like pizza, if you like, whatever, you can work in the things that you like and still be healthy and still.
Well, I think one of the things that I learned when I got high blood pressure, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, when I was talking to my doctor about what I should eat and how I should do things, I said, so I need to cut this and this out. She was like, not necessarily cut them out, but you have to just cut them down, and you have to have a. She basically was talking about the 80-20 rule, 85-15, 80-20, to where like you're doing things 100% correctly 80% of the time, and then you have the other 20% where you can enjoy your life, because the reality is that like you can't live on chicken, rice, avocado, broccoli, asparagus, even though it's good for you, but like to do it every day all the time is just unrealistic. And that's what I think that a lot of people, they think, I have to diet, so I have to do this, and it's so much different than what I know. I'm older than you are, but like when we were growing up, if you don't do these things, it's not going to work. And we've learned that it's just not that way.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah,
because you make yourself miserable.
It's not realistic. But if you do it consistently, it works.
Yeah.
It just works. It works. So I'm actually going to be posting something about. I'm going to post a graph of one of the girls who is in the transformation challenge that I'm doing right now. We have almost 2 weeks left, but her weight loss. The graph is exactly the way that it's supposed to be. And it's not what people think it's supposed to. You think that you're supposed to just go like this. It just never, ever does. It does this. Well, here. But you keep trending down. And she still eats stuff that she wants to eat.
Yeah.
Like she's on the meal plan. She has a hybrid of the meal plan that I give, and then she has some other stuff too. But like the reality is that like she still eats stuff, she still enjoys stuff. When people do really good in the challenge, when people actually lose a lot of weight, they're not just like military regimented to where like, I'm only eating this. It just doesn't work like that. So I think that it's the mentality of a lot of people thinking that it's supposed to be this way, and it can't work if you do this. I actually had a conversation with someone years ago, and I was telling, it was a guy, I was telling him, hey, I'm going to ask you your favorite foods, and I'm going to be able to give you some stuff that you think that shouldn't be on your meal plan, but I'll be able to put it on there. He was like, oh, well, I can't do that. And I was like, but you can. And we didn't have an argument, but like we had a back and forth, and I was trying to convince him, and I realized that I couldn't convince him. I said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to give it to you. You can do what you like, but like it's unfortunately it's the way that people think from when they're young.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's changing though. A lot of it has changed recently.
Much more, but there are still a lot of people who feel like that.
Yes.
I can't eat carbs.
Yes.
And it's just
a lot
not
of
true.
Fad diets because you get results. You get results, but again, like you said, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
I could cut out all carbs and potatoes and all that stuff.
And you'd be miserable.
And I'd be miserable. I'd probably be super mean because I get mean when I'm hungry.
You mean?
But and I could get really good results short term, but I'm not going to keep that.
Right.
So I mean, I think that's the important thing. What's sustainable and what you're able to do lifelong, or just even if you can't do it as as strict as you are at certain points. Like if I have an event that I'm trying to get ready for or whatever, I'm going to be more strict because I have a goal.
Right.
But as I ease up, working those good habits into what I've already learned and whatnot is what keeps it steady and keeps it on that downward trajectory versus, shooting back up right away. And
that's the big thing. But it's the slow, steady progress. So if someone comes to me and says, hey, I'm thinking about using you as my personal trainer, and then we have this conversation, and one of the first things that I'll say is that I'm not a quick fix guy. I'm just not. There's a way that I can have pretty much everybody lose 20 pounds in a month. You go into a very serious calorie deficit. It's not even about cutting out carbs or fats or whatever, but if you do the combination, the combination of your diet and then how much you work out, how much you lift weights, you can lose a big amount of weight quickly.
Oh, yeah.
But then chances are when you lose it, you generally will find it when you go real fast. But when you take your time and it becomes your lifestyle, like you were saying earlier, that's when you get it and you're able to sustain it. And I think that, unfortunately, people want it to be quick.
Yeah.
Which I understand. It makes sense, but I think that one of the coolest things that I notice, even let's just say someone's at the gym for a long time and they're not losing weight the way that they want to, okay? Because they're on it, but they're not watching their diet all the time, but they're on it sometime. But man, you're getting so much physically stronger. You're getting so much more confidence. You are losing weight, but you're not losing weight the way that you probably wanted to when you first came. But it's just the whole thing about fitness is that you have to be moving, you have to be lifting, you have to give your body resistance, you have to be getting your cardiovascular system up. The people who lift weights and don't like to do cardio, I've said this 10 times on the podcast, they're the people at work, they walk up a flight of steps and they got to take a knee at the top. That's embarrassing. Yeah. But you can't hit a flight of steps, you know what I mean? And so that just comes with moving around. And you said earlier, you miss a week or two of boxing and then you get back into it and you realize how far you can fall off just that quick.
Oh yeah. Just
that quick. Yeah. But in my opinion, that's what life requires though. If you're not progressing, unfortunately, you're kind of sliding backwards. And when it comes to fitness, it's all we got. And so if you're not doing it, eventually your body can suffer. Yep. All right, so we're doing really good on time, by the way. So Madi is actually, you know what? Why don't you tell everybody about your job, and because we want to talk about some medical stuff here in a minute. So just let us know about your job.
I'm a nurse. Okay. I've been a nurse for 23 or so years. I started as an LVN, worked my way up through school, got my RN. I worked medical surgical for years, and then I got into rehab, physical medicine and rehab. And for the last 12 years, I've been doing physical medicine and rehab, managing it. Got to learn a lot about that, working with PTOTs, speech. Super interesting with the nursing component, the medical component. Yeah. More recently, I'm now in charge of a medical surgical telemetry with oncology, orthopedics, and rehab.
She's got a huge promotion.
I did get a promotion.
Big promotion.
And I love it. I've been working at the same hospital for the past 23 years, and I like it there. Oh,
you actually started there?
I started there. Actually, I started in an Alzheimer's and dementia home is where I actually started.
Okay.
I was a med nurse at a 120-bed locked facility for Alzheimer's and dementia, in geriatrics, which I also really, really like. And then I went to the hospital I'm at now.
Okay.
And I started there in their med-surg unit.
And so I've been with her from the beginning of this, and me and Liz, we watched you do everything.
Yeah.
If you knew where she came from to where she's at right now, you've literally come so far. It's I don't know how deep about that you want to get into that stuff, but she's definitely one of those stories that she started here and she's literally here. And it's been great for me to be able to watch you just progress. Obviously you know this, you're like my little sister. She's like a little sister to me, so it's been cool to really just watch your life turn out the way that it has. So when I'm a trainer. I'm a personal trainer. I never try to act like I'm a doctor or a nurse or I'm anything like that. The second that I get a client or I get a situation that is above my pay grade, I immediately call you. And so like, it doesn't matter whatever the situation is. I have my knowledge base about the stuff that I know, but when it gets into something that's much more serious than what I can handle, I make sure I call you. So like, a great example was I had a client, great friend of mine too, by the way, Sherry. Hey, Sherry. She had actually had a stroke soon, just before she was going to start training with me. And so I was like, let me talk to my sister. I'm going to, like, I know what I was going to do, as far as working with someone who had just previously had a stroke, but I wanted to get your opinion on that. And so that's a great example of what I do when it comes to stuff like that. But she was like, that was a very extreme case.
Yeah.
And so I'll call Marty and I'll say, hey, Marty, this is the situation. What do you think? And so.
The cool thing about that too is, nurses, we study a lot of broad things when we study, and then we get into our area and we, get familiar with the things that we see all the time.
Right.
And so you'll call me with something and I'll have a very basic answer for you, but it makes me like research more or looking at things. I have my doctors, physician friends that I talk to and like bounce things off of. So it broadens my knowledge as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like when you call me with stuff. Sometimes I know it and I feel good, like, oh, I know that, and I can give you the answer.
Yeah.
And sometimes I am able to give you a very broad answer and then go research it a little bit more and talk to, specialists in that area and whatnot. So.
Yeah. So I want to tell you guys what happened with me when I had to get my hip surgery, my hip replacement surgery. So this was a very sobering moment for me in my life. So I started off, I had femoral acetabular impingement, FAI, and so one day I wake up, I had went mountain biking on a Friday, and then on Sunday I woke up and I was in so much pain. I mean, my leg was killing me. I couldn't move, and so I started calling you and telling you about it and letting you know, and then you talked to your orthopedic specialist, and you copied his response to your question. And I had seen a couple of doctors. One of them said that they were we should. I had a bone spur, and I had a torn labrum, and so he said, one doctor said we should just shave the bone spur down, clean it out, and you'll be fine. And then another doctor said if you do that, it's going to speed up the process of arthritis, and you're going to have to get surgery. And at the very beginning, I did not want to get hip replacement surgery at all. Over the years, I realized that was my only thing that I could do. So you asked him questions, he responded, you texted me his response, and the first thing he said was, he's too old for that. And I was like, damn, it was the, I've been in and out of the hospital my whole life with injuries, and regardless of whatever needed to be done, it was okay, we'll just do this, we'll just do this. And this was the first time that someone had said, oh, well, he's too old for that. We have to do this. And I was like, damn. I mean, that was like a really big wake up call, because I was 48, I think, at the time. And I was like, okay. So I really had to kind of take a step back and think like, well, what am I going to do? And in my mind, I kept thinking, hip replacement surgery is, like the end, that was what was in my mind. And at the end of the day, it ended up being the best thing that I could have done for my hip.
Yeah, you got your surgery and you were, I mean, we get people up and walking same day.
Yeah.
But you were like really pushing yourself. You were walking a good distance, like out of surgery.
Yeah. I actually,
your healing time was quick, I think.
Yeah.
You were back in the gym within 2 weeks.
I was working, I think I was on Zoom, but then I was back in the gym on Zoom, I think within 3 weeks. I think
it was quick.
Yeah,
because I expected you to be down a little bit longer, not just because of just general pain or whatever, but you were back at the gym and actually doing stuff. I don't mean like, yes, you were on Zoom and stuff.
Yeah.
But you were on Zoom, like demonstrating things already and actually doing some workouts really fast.
It was the second day I had the surgery on a Wednesday. Wednesday was okay because the pain medicine was still in me. Thursday was oh my God, I wanted to kill everybody around me. It was it was like an open wound that someone was just kind of just continuing to do. Anyway, but but once the second day was over, like my biggest thing was I was worried. Like I had such a limp as I was walking up with the walker and stuff like that. I kept thinking like, damn, am I gonna walk like this for the rest of my life? But then just every day it progressed. So anyway, not to make this too much about my hip surgery, but the reason why I brought it up is because I really had to make a decision based on what I had talked to you about and what you talked to your orthopedic specialist about. And that's really what I do. So like when there's someone who comes in and you have a very serious situation, and I've broken so many bones and dislocated and torn a lot of stuff, so I have good experience with certain things. But I can't beat the experience that you have. And you've been so valuable to me because I always know I can count on you. You know what I mean? And so like by the time I get to my client, I have a good idea of what I'm going to do with them, and I let them know, and I tell them, I say, I talked to my sister, and this is what we're going to do. And so thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So this brings me to one of the main topics I wanted to bring up with you guys today is that so I actually had and I want to say I have high blood pressure because every once in a while it goes high, but I'm off my medicine, and so there's times when I have a client with high blood pressure, and so I can really speak to them about what's happening. But whenever it's a little bit more tricky, I'll talk to you about it. And so you've helped me with my blood pressure. I got COVID a couple years ago, and my blood pressure went through the roof. And I wasn't drinking coffee like I was, whatever. And I called you, and then you said, "Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this?" Next thing you know, like I was back to normal. So the value that you bring to me and what you're able to, not just for me personally, because you always help me whenever I need it, but like, man, like it helps me be a better trainer for my clients. So it's like best case scenario.
Those are the things you don't think about as a client, right?
Yeah.
I'm also a client in your gym, and I come and I work out, and I don't think about all this stuff, but as I've made friends here who have had like different complications, and I think like, wow, look at where they're boxing with me, or they're lifting weights with me, or she's spotting me, and I know a little bit about their history, or they, we're out here working out and they ask me questions.
Yeah.
Like that's cool for career-wise, like when my everyday stuff, outside of my work, like I get to see a lot of times at the hospital, you see the acute case, you see a couple weeks out, maybe if I'm in rehab, right? But you don't get to see 4 months out. I don't. 4 months out, and how that, how that treatment or how it
translates to them
just being able to be, I mean, a lot of the girls in here that have had other stuff are the strongest girls in here. That's fun. That's fun to see.
I think that whenever someone goes through something like that, once they're over it and they have gotten through it, in a good way, they realize how much stronger they are.
Oh yeah.
It always sucks going through it, but then once you're done with it, you know that like, okay, well, that happened and I took it and I'm still here and now I can go harder. It's a big deal.
And so the people you see here are your motivated people. Like not everybody is as motivated or pushes themselves or whatever. But the people in the gym, they're the ones that are motivated, that are invested into getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, we come and work out, and sometimes you'll give us a set, and we're like, but we do it, and at the end, we feel so good about it, right? In the middle, like Gina and I will be like, why are we doing this? Or right, why did I come today? I was gonna take a nap.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, it's like we feel it's a good feeling, and it makes us come back.
Yeah. I think that so the way that I have my classes set up, I have ladies classes and then men's classes. But then every once in a while, like on a holiday, like I'll just do like one class for the entire day and I'll combine it and it's all the guys and the girls, whatever. And it turns into like kind of what you described. It's like a family. Like, oh, like I've seen this person progress from here to here. Or I remember when she had this wrong with her and then now she's like, it's a lifestyle. And it's cool when you are able to be, and it's not that like everyone hangs out outside the gym here, but like this is where we come to get our workout in. We get our, we hang out. We, the few minutes before and after class is probably the funniest, here, because everyone's always talking crap to me or giving somebody a hard time, mostly me. And but it's fun. But it really is. It's cool for me. I'm glad you said that because I get to watch all of you guys progress. So for me, I'm like, oh, I remember when you were like this and now you're like this. And when I first started training, I never thought that would be a big deal to me because, you know, when you're an athlete, you're very focused on yourself only. Mm-hmm. And then once I got into this and I started to see, hey, like she lost 20 pounds. She looks good. She feels good. I think the first time that someone called me and said, oh my God, you know, I went to the doctor and my A1C is down, my blood pressure's down, my cholesterol's lower. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'm doing something. It made me feel good about what I was doing. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. So when it comes to your job, how does, especially with how busy you are now in your new role, how are you able to, you're a wife, you're a mother of two, you work out, you have this very important job. Like, how do you balance everything?
And I know if I balance everything.
And I know that you just started this new job, but you've always been busy. But like how is it? Because and there's times where you're not able to come to the gym, but for the most part, like you're here pretty consistently. So like, how are you able to kind of just work everything in and just? Well,
I mean, I've learned a lot. I've learned. I'm one of those people that like to follow in like the instruction of a trainer, right? Mm-hmm. I like the classes because I feel like on my own I don't always know like what muscle groups to work out together, or like I feel like if I told myself, okay, I'm gonna do 3 sets of 10 and bench press, the minute it gets hard, I'm like, oh, okay, that was good. Because that's just how I am. Maybe other people are like that. I don't know. Most people are, yeah. So it's motivating for me to be in a class where others around me are doing the same thing, because then I got to keep up.
Right.
And then you're telling me, okay, this is where we're starting, this is where we're ending, and you're directing that. It's not like on my own, like because on my own, once I feel tired, I'm gonna stop. But coming to the gym so much, I have learned like how to give myself a realistic set, right? I like the Tabata. I like the short workout with the rest period, because I could do that. I can do that and know that, okay, I have to do this for 15 seconds. Like, but you're the one that taught me how to do that, right? The tools that you've given us, the clocks and the this and the that. I watch videos that you've put on your Joey Speaks Fitness, and I follow those when I really don't have it in me to just to try to figure something out on my own. But workouts don't have to take a long time. So when I don't have the time to come into the gym or do a workout, trying to do something like even a 15-minute, 20-minute set, focus on one muscle group.
Right.
For me feels better than nothing, and I think that's kept me like level. So I try to fit something in every day. Doesn't always work every day. Sometimes just taking a nap works.
that's a great workout.
Right?
It's a regenerative workout.
It is. Well, and the other thing that I think you say a lot, and I really didn't pay attention to in the beginning, but is very true, is that rest is equally as important as the work that you put in, because it allows your body to regenerate and build. Because I've noticed, like on the times when I've been super strict and I've set myself a goal, like I'm going to work out 7 days a week, and I do it, and then I get tired and I'll do a rest day. Like my workout the next day is so much better. And I think a lot of people beat themselves up when they do that extra rest, or because they're trying to they have in their head, I need to work out this many.
Right.
I don't think there's a set formula for everybody. And the flexibility that I've learned in all of this is like how I keep balance. Some days a nap is going to be what I need.
I love that.
Some days it's
Hey, what'd you hit today, Monty? Oh, I took a nap.
30 minutes.
Oh, that's a good workout.
But I mean, it's what, if I don't, then the next day my workout, or if I try to work out when I'm that tired, my workout doesn't mean as much. Like I 100%. Do some, but I've had a lousy workout, and I probably should have just taken a nap and gotten to it back, got it harder, the next day or whatever. But.
And it actually, when you have crappy workouts, it can deter you. You know, like now you're thinking like, oh, like am I not as strong anymore? Like it mentally can mess with you. And so like I love it that you're saying a lot of the things that I say from your perspective as a client, as opposed to just being my sister and like kind of agreeing with the things that I say. Like, it's not that. It's true. Like, everybody has to figure themselves out. Everybody. And I love it that my job is to help you figure yourself out, but my job is to figure you out first so I can kind of direct you, right? But then, you know, like everyone needs to learn their calories and macros. They need to learn how you like to work out. For everything that I do, my favorite way to work out is like kind of jumping around, dancing, and you know, like lifting weights also. But I like cardio. I love to box. I love to, when I sweat, and I sweat very easily, but my body feels like I can literally feel the crap coming out of my body. You know what I mean? Where I love lifting weights also, but I know what I like best, and I think that a lot of people, they don't know that, so they're kind of always looking for what they think that they like.
When I think, like I said, when I've learned certain techniques and stuff, it makes me more confident in doing those. Because generally you think, okay, I gotta run, I gotta go on the treadmill, I gotta do the elliptical, I gotta do, that's like the easiest go-to. You go to the gym, that's 50% of the gym is those machines. Yeah. And people are on them because it's the easiest like thing, and people don't think of weightlifting as cardio. They don't think of boxing as cardio. They don't think of, I think just learning that and seeing it. You know, we wear the heart monitor belts, which you encourage, and like I didn't think it was that big of a deal at first, but then we would do a set, you know, a weightlifting set, and I would look at my heart rate and I'd be like, oh, my heart rate's 120, and I lifted weights, and I don't feel like I'm not panting and feeling like my heart rate's 120 because I wasn't jogging, but I was lifting weights, and I can see the difference. I mean, just trying to put those things together and learning off of that has been, for me, valuable. And it's a hard thing to explain to somebody because you're like, well, you don't have to run a mile. Let's do this, and they're like, oh, okay, and they don't really believe you.
It's definitely one of those things until you go through it and then you see it. And I am such a big believer in the heart rate monitor because you do see that. Like, you can get done doing a really heavy set of something and your heart rate can get up to 140, 150 from a set of lifting weights, let alone cardio. But then when you do the interval training, 40 on, 20 off, or 35, 25, and you're lifting weights, man, like you're in such a cardio zone, past the fat burning zone, you're in the cardio zone, and you're building muscle. So like it's all those things they're necessary for you to be able to get the best out of your time. And I think that when people work out, you know, they want to be efficient. Oh, I got to get in the gym. I don't have an hour. I only have 20 minutes. And so like, you know, with you talking about the balance that you use, sometimes you get a 15-minute workout. Sometimes you get an hour workout. And it really is like, what can you do? How efficient can you be in the amount of time that you have? But then you have all these tools. And the heart rate monitor is one of the biggest things. Oh yeah. One of the biggest things. So if I'm dieting, or if I have a goal and I say I have like I'm 3 months out or whatever the case is, there's an equation. How many calories you eat, how many calories did you burn? Then the difference of that is your net calorie intake. And then so like, how do you feel after that? And so if you're working out too hard and you're not eating enough, maybe you need to eat more so you can keep working out hard enough so that you're still losing weight or whatever your goal may be. And so when you use these things, it makes sense. And until you actually do it, because there's people who don't wear a heart rate monitor here in the gym, and then when they get one, they're like, oh, I burned 450 calories that hour. Oh yeah. Yeah. And then you realize like, well, I only ate 1,500 calories today, so like I'm good. Like it makes you realize what you're actually doing. So there's two things I'm bougie about. I hate it when my heart rate monitor does not work. I want to throw it and break it. If I have it on and it doesn't not work, oh my God. And then my headphones. I gotta have good headphones. When I work out, I gotta have good headphones. If I don't have my heart rate monitor and my headphones, I'm like a little girl. Whatever. Anyway. And so Monty has 2 kids, my nephews. And I know that Andrew lifts weights every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah.
But Carter is really kind of getting into lifting weights a little bit more.
Carter is really big into lifting weights. So he just started football.
Yep.
His freshman year.
Big kid. Big kid.
He's 6'2".
Yeah,
he was
big boy.
6'2", 195. I think he's a little leaner with this football season.
Mm-hmm.
He eats a ton. I don't know how
Yeah.
that works, but he was kind of coached into doing football. He didn't want to do football. His coaches and stuff said, "Oh, you're playing football, right?" And he's like, "No, I don't want to play football." He wanted to do like music appreciation because he's also a guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
And then registration came around. They're like, "Oh, you're playing football." He's like, "No, I'm not playing football." He took PE in summer to avoid playing football or to
Yeah.
avoid PE during the school year.
Yeah.
And then right after registration, we went to get his assignment. He was scheduled football. He went to his counselor. He's like, "I'm not supposed to be playing football." And she's like, "Oh, all right, we'll fix it later. And then just come to school your first day and come to the quad and we'll fix it." And he went to school, went to the quad, came home, and he's like, "I guess I'm playing football." But he really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And so he lifts, and he's strong. He's come to me. I mean, he's come here with me
Yeah.
to the gym every so often, and I bring him to the ladies' class because that's the class I'm going to.
Yeah.
But he's strong.
Yeah. And he actually throws nice hands too.
He does.
Yeah,
he loves boxing.
Yeah.
Carter's always loved boxing. Carter's never been afraid of being hit, like in play and stuff. Like he's always been the one. Theo, come on.
Oh yeah.
Even little.
Oh, I'm gonna say you something about that in a minute.
And he's never like backed out. Andrew is strong and he likes doing that stuff and he works out. He lifts weights and stuff.
I remember he was doing he was lifting a little bit before.
Yeah, he'll join on Zoom sometimes when I'll go on Zoom.
Yeah.
But Andrew's always been more of a thinker, right? If he'll strategize things.
Yeah.
And if he thinks he's gonna get hurt, he'll be like, maybe I'll just back out. Like he's not like aggressive that way. He's a strategizer.
He's gonna run the world one day. Is what he's gonna do. That's what he's gonna do. So one day, you guys had come over. We were living in the apartment. The boys were really young. Me and Josh take them out to the alley right there, and we're playing ball. And I don't remember if we hit a ground ball or we threw a ground ball to him. But so Carter gets down to take the ground ball, and boom, he takes one right off the chest. And me and Josh were like, he could have easily just started like crying. Like it was a good one. He was just kind of like, he went and picked up the ball, he gave it back to me, and me and Josh looked at each other like, okay, like he doesn't mind getting hit. Like he would literally put his face in the way, not realizing like, oh, this is gonna hurt. And then if it did hurt, he's like, whatever. And then he would just keep going. And he was a little guy at that time.
Yeah.
And then when we were wrestled, like he would always he was a roughhouser.
I've always encouraged him to do stuff because like he did AYSO for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
They've tried their various sports or whatever, but early on in that,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
they made him a goalie because he wouldn't shy away from the ball.
Right.
He would kick it and he would put his whole face and everything and just get the ball. And he was a great goalie. He didn't love running, so soccer wasn't for him because you got to run all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, this past week, the coach from JV from high school was like, "Carter, we just need a big guy," and he knows him. He's like, "We just need a big guy, and we need somebody who's not afraid of the ball. We join the team." Carter's like, "I don't know if I want to do all the running."
I'm good with that, coach.
And the coach told him, "You don't even have to run that much. Just block the ball. Just be an alternate." Like, because he's not shy in football. He's not afraid of the tackles. Like he'll put himself out there.
Yeah, he does.
Comes home all beat up.
Yeah, it's part of it. But the boy, they've done all kinds of different things, right? Mm-hmm. I know that did Andrew bowl like close to a 300 or like didn't he?
So both of them were in a bowling league for a little bit. Andrew liked it more.
Yeah.
And his average is like 206 or something like that.
That's his average?
That's his average. Never got close to a 300. That's a perfect game. And there's a ton of stuff in bowling that you don't think of.
Yeah.
I never thought of bowling as like a sport, but people take bowling super serious, and there's all kinds of, science on oil patterns and the kind of ball. You have a urethane ball, a plastic ball, whatever.
Yeah.
But and he did get sweaty, like, and it was fun for him. But yeah, he got really good. His average is about 206, and I think his high game was like 250 something, maybe.
That's like the majority strikes,
I
though,
bowl
right?
at 80, so I don't know.
You know what's funny is my mom, when I was real little, my mom used to be in a bowling league. I remember her little bag. She had the ball with the bag and her shoes and everything. I just liked because there was like a little arcade in there. So anyway.
Whatever to keep the kids active. Like I always
Yeah.
told them they had to choose something. I didn't care what it was, just something. They've
Yep.
done soccer and they've done tennis and we've done golf. Just at the range, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Is what it's called. Bowling. They did swimming for a little bit before COVID.
Yeah.
Just anything. They had to do something to keep them active.
Yeah. It's for kids. It's
They did your boxing class for a little bit when you had
Yeah.
the kids boxing.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is Andrew actually got good at boxing before Carter at that time. I mean, he's a little older too, but Andrew's one of those type of kids. Like I feel like it doesn't matter what he's doing, he can do it good. He can once he figures out what to do, like he can be good at it.
Yeah. Andrew's naturally athletic. Both of them are very athletic. Andrew, when from younger, has always been naturally athletic. But again, like he's a thinker, so
He's too
like,
smart.
well, is this gonna take me too long to do? But and he's a musician. Like he loves his music, so it's been where he can do. He does everything. It makes it look so easy.
Yeah. He's
Carter's
one of
a
those.
hard worker.
Yeah.
Carter has good athletic ability, but he works hard at everything,
Yeah.
which makes him want it more, I think.
Absolutely.
Where Andrew, because it comes easy to him, he's like, this is fun, but
Yeah. It's funny. The gifted ones, it's almost too easy to where like they're bored, like unfortunately. But then the ones who are gifted like that, and then once they find out what they like and they have the passion for it, that's when you have like greatness.
it's fun to see them though too.
Yeah.
Because Carter's really good at a lot, but again, like he really, really works hard towards it. He commits to it. He puts in the practice. He puts in the work, and it makes him good in his own way.
Yeah. So that's all I got. You have anything else that you want to talk about?
No, this time went by fast.
I know we're working on almost an hour.
I was afraid. I was like, I don't know if I can talk for an hour, because what do I have to say? But this was fun. It was fast.
Good.
And
I'm glad.
Interesting because you make me think about things that I don't, necessarily think about, like the things that I've learned or what stuff I've taken from you and kind of put into my everyday life and how I go about my day or how I think or how I plan my workouts or whatever.
Yeah.
I hear your voice in my head a lot when I'm trying to do certain things, like either pushing myself or do this, or it's good to rest, or about my meal planning, just from being involved in the gym and doing your challenges and hanging out with you and just talking in general. But
I'm lucky to have you. Always, I'm lucky to be able to count on you to help me when I need it. And you're my little sister though, so All right, guys, that's another good one. I love this episode because I hope that you guys can see, from someone who's literally in the medical field, it's not just about what you do in here, it's how you approach things. And I think it's interesting from someone who has all the knowledge and the job that you have, we're all still just regular people who still have to come in the gym and work. Regardless of how much you know or whatever you think that you have, if you don't come and put in the work, it doesn't matter. And so I'm glad you guys are able to hear something from her perspective, to where it's things don't change. You still have to work hard. If you want something, you have to have a strategy for it. You have to be able to follow that strategy, and you have to do it. So I love this episode.
And it's fun.
It is.
And it's fun.
And you learn a lot about yourself. You really learn I can throw my hands. Oh, I can lift these weights. I can go 30 seconds longer than I thought. And it changes your mind. And when your mind changes, your body will change. Yep.
Okay.
All right, guys. I will see you in the next video.